Hello everybody, this is David with Liberty Suppressors. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to explain a basic across-the-counter, simple as it gets, Form 4 transfer. The least complicated of them all. Basically what we nickname a fingerprints and photograph transfer. This is not one involving a trust or corporation or an alien immigrant or any kind of an unusual circumstance. This is average everyday Joe getting him a Form 4, buying him a silencer so he can shoot on his guns. So with that in mind, just remember that I'm going to be referencing going to the sheriff's office and doing all of that stuff. So later on I'll do trust videos and all that sort of thing. But for right now, this is just regular fingerprint and photograph Form 4, just like every time else you've ever seen anyone do one. So with that in mind, thank you very much, and let's get started. Okay, this is what we're looking at is a standard application for tax paid transfer. This is what is known, let's see if I can get it down here and get to focus, as a Form 4. Right here, see where it says it. Alright, what we're going to do is show you what all is going on here. Now, your dealer will fill out all of this information all the way down through here, and as you can see, the ATF fills out this block. Now, make sure your dealer marks this little I do so you can check on your own transfer status. That's what that's saying. He's giving permission to the ATF to release that data to you. Nothing will go in this line, which is where the other dealer would put his information. But typically, your dealer will have all of this information filled out for you. Now, let me get it focused in again. As you can see, your name will go here, the county you live in or the parish, dealer's phone number, dealer's data. Now over here, this is where you'll mail everything to the Atlanta address. You'll make the check out to the BATFE or Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and that's where you'll send it. Now, the maker's information will go in this area. This is where as you can see, the maker's name, city and state, and all that, address, what it is, whether it's a silencer, machine gun, what have you, the caliber of the weapon, serial number of the weapon, right here. If it has a barrel, the barrel length. If it doesn't, like a suppressor, it'll say NA. The overall length, like on a Freedom, it'd be 10 inches. The model would be, whatever the model name on the item is, Freedom or what have you. And of course the serial number right here where I wrote the word written, then that would be where the serial number block is. The line beneath it is typically used for integrals. As you can see, I've wrote this will sometimes have info on a host weapon, etc. You'll see like this suppressor built on Ruger 1022, such and such serial number. You'll see that there from time to time. The next line of data is where a federal firearms licensee would put their information. If you're just an individual, you don't need this, so you'll just leave it blank. And of course, the dealer puts his information on the next line. Then the dealer dates, signs it, and prints their name on this area. Like I said, make sure they mark that little I do so you can check your status. The ATF uses this area down here to approve the form. The back of the form, if you print them out off of Untitled.com, the check boxes are already checked so that you'll have the answered questions appropriately. This block here is for your photograph. You'll put, as it shows, a little 2x2 passport photo, the head and shoulders shot with a neutral background. We typically scotch tape them along the edges and then staple it up in this upper corner. Now this is the certification for you block. You'll print your name here. You'll put the word collecting because you're collecting NFA weapons, and I've never had one denied for a collecting purpose. You'll sign it here. You'll date it here. This next block, block 17 if I'm right, yes, is where the sheriff does all of that information. You'll write your name in the first block, where it's the name of transferee, and then the sheriff will sign it and title it here, put his name and title there. The sheriff's office will put their other information here, the county you live in, and their phone number and the date. Once they do that, then these forms are finished. Now, you have to do them in duplicate, so you have to do 2 of these forms. So when you go to the sheriff, make sure they do both forms. All right, and both forms got to be signed and by everybody. You got to take 2 pictures, 1 on each form. The whole thing's in duplicate. This is called the Certificate of Compliance. This form, you will put your name on line 1, you'll put your name on line 2, you'll put USA on block 3, you'll sign it at the bottom, and you'll date it. and you're finished with this form. This form certifies that you're a U.S. citizen and another citizen vouches for you. Since you are a citizen, you can vouch for yourself. Real bright, isn't it? Next item is the fingerprint cards. These fingerprint cards must be ATF fingerprint cards. Your dealer gets these for free. All right? So, when you get your information packet to fill out your information, he should give you 2 of these cards minimum, because you have to supply 2 of them to the ATF. If they don't have 2 cards, the ATF gives them away. So, you don't have to pay for none of this. They'll give you all these forms for free. Now, notice I've marked this. These cards have to be filled in black ink. Don't do them in blue. You'll get in trouble. Now, they'll just reject your forms. Notice it says last name, first name, middle initial. Don't put your name in here wrong. They'll reject them for that too. On your birthday, be sure if a computer prints them, some states or some offices will use the little printers to do them. Make sure the last number in the year doesn't print off the side of the form. I've seen them get rejected for it saying 196 instead of 1969. And you'll have to line strike it and write 1969, initial it, and send them back in. They'll approve it then, but until it has that last number on there, they won't. Of course, all your other personal information, USA for your citizenship, your social security number. The reason for fingerprints, we always put Form 4 transfer. You'll have to sign it here, put your name and address here. I think it actually just your address. Yeah, residence of person fingerprinted. And then these blocks are for the officer taking the prints. They'll date it, they'll sign it, and then they'll put what sheriff's department or police department or what have you that they work for in that block. You do these forms in duplicate. You'll get 2 of these. We normally give 3 to our applicants. That way if the office screws one up for some reason, then they've got a spare, But if there's any reason at all to reject these forms over little petty paperwork or typographical errors, they'll send them back to you. And then the last one is the ambiguous 4473. You'll fill this out as if you do any other 4473. There's nothing special about it other than page 2. Actually, for you, nothing's different. You fill it out just like you do for a regular Title I weapon. You'll sign it here and date it here when you're done. Then when they fill it out, the dealer fills out all this data, and then down here they check box 22. Block 22 says no NICS check is required because the transfer involved only NFA firearms. As long as you're not doing an integral. A lot of times, like with an integral 22 pistol, they'll do a NICS check on the pistol but not on the suppressor. It's kind of funny, ain't it? But yeah, you'll still do one of these when you pick up your item. After this paperwork here clears the NFA branch and they send a copy of it back to your dealer, this will arrive at your dealer and this will have a stamp on it right here in the value of $200. And at that point, they'll actually call you and you can come pick it up and you do that 4473 and you're on your way. Thank you very much. Alright, what we have here is a mock check for your ATF transfer. What I'm wanting to do is point out that down here in the 4 line, what you need to make sure you do is put the serial number of the item that you're purchasing on it. And you can write BATFE and who you're writing it to line. So just be sure you always put the serial number on your check. That way, you got proof you paid your tax with a canceled check. It's a really good idea. ATF even recommends it. So don't forget to do that as well. Thank you.